In the age of AI, running a business is not like before. Today, there are lots of opportunities and ways to earn more money and save time, decrease the costs of running a business in manners that have not been possible before. It comes down to being aware of the solutions that are possible, how to implement them, and how you can replace the past processes which used to maybe cost 2, 3 to even 6, 7K US dollars, and just do that for basically free once an automation has been set up. In this video, we're going to talk about how to run a business in the age of AI that will cost 10 times less than a regular usual business using AI automation and AI agents. We're going to break down the different business models and the use cases that can be built so that you can run a fully agentic business with AI automation. Let's dive straight into this video, which is super impactful for any business owner or founder. Yeah, so business in the age of AI, that's the video topic for today. And we're going to discuss what you can do as a business owner and how a business should sort of be thinking in the age of AI, right? And so in general, the AI automation and AI brings solutions that in general decrease costs for businesses. This is very important for you to understand because most businesses in the world, they are about improving processes, growing revenue, and decreasing costs. It's all about maintaining a positive balance sheet, right? It's about having enough income, being able to pay your employees, being able to do a service, sell products so you can earn income, so you can keep your head afloat, so you can run a business that you can scale. And that's where AI comes in, because AI is good at two things. It is actually good for lead generation, to get leads, to find leads, to communicate with leads. That is something AI is very good, and that means increasing revenue. But it's also good at automating tasks, which means that you can decrease costs by removing things which currently cost you money, where it's manual approach, maybe employees you have, where you can implement AI. And we're going to discuss this right now. So in the age of AI, businesses should focus on decreasing costs using it and also increasing revenue. And how do you do that? What's the sort of use cases where this can be done? The different business owners have different level of understanding of AI, and most business owners know that AI is a massive opportunity for them, but they don't know where to start. And that's why this video will be so importantly helpful for you, because it will give you a clear picture of how you can use AI, what is the solutions, and where do they fit in, right? So this is sort of the thing we have here. Now let's go into the different businesses that we're gonna sort of cover into this video, like agencies. This is something that is very relevant in this topic: service businesses and agencies. We also have product type businesses, product businesses, people who are selling stuff, people who have real things in the market that they are either selling or providing. So product businesses, service businesses, small businesses, and SaaS and software and beyond. There is just so much, right? There's no point to list it all, but there is just so, honestly, any business can, in the age of AI, implement strategies that will increase the revenue, decrease the cost, right? So what is the things that you can do? So we're going to discuss now the point of increasing revenue for the business. One of the most important things in the business, right? To be able to earn money. And so the way you do that is either by selling a product or by, your service. And that is usually getting the customers, or what we call leads, right? So within leads and marketing, you have what we call lead generation and lead qualification. As a business owner, you may already be aware of that, but it's very important to understand how this now applies into AI, right? Because first we're going to go through the lead generation things. And what you can see here is that lead generation, it's all about sort of acquiring and also qualifying in a way the leads that you get or you find, right? So these could all be individual leads. Now these leads is something that you could be finding from different sources, and that could be sources such as databases online, right? Databases, things such as ad campaigns, right? And these are all things which are not sort of related to AI. They are just a place where you're finding leads. They could be Reddit and social media, right? There are many ways and reasons you get leads. I mean, and have the databases, but they are not your customers. They are just people who they fit your criteria, right? So how do you actually take them down your funnel and actually manage to get them to be your customers? That usually in the traditional social media marketing way, that is done through what you call sort of the sales process, email marketing, email communication, cold calling, calling people, manually doing all the work to establish customer relationships, right? And so that is how it traditionally has been done. Usually you have a whole team, usually a whole team of 3 to 5 people team to be doing this, right? And that usually costs like, if you hire a person with a like average low salary of 2,000, we can say that that's like at least 6K at the minimum. You're paying 6K to have a total team. For that will do the sort of whole outbound lead generation for your product and service. And this is the average business cost, average minimum, right? And so this is the process, right? Acquiring the leads, finding them, having the communication until you actually getting the customers, which usually hits at a 2-3% rate. Now, if you're able to scale that, what if you can now have 10 employees and 20 employees? Of course, you're going to earn more money, but that's something which takes time. Now, an AI will be able to do all of this in a much higher scale. You can reach out to people in a much higher sort of amount of time. And the different things that you could be implementing are AI callers. That's the actually AI that replaces the cold calling people and humans that will do all the outreach on the call on the phone. And AI callers are tremendously effective at calling and also receiving calls, having communications, and then actually qualifying. So lead generation, lead qualification is all sort of a part of the same thing. And likewise with AI email assistants, usually a lot of the work that gets done to get leads and customers in a business is email. And you can have AI agents operating as email assistants that will handle the communication, that will handle the outreach, that will get the meetings booked for you. And likewise on LinkedIn, you can set up automations that will ensure that you can have a follow-up automated. You can have the first, second, and third message automated, so you can engage and accelerate and start discussions on LinkedIn. And these 3 are the most powerful AI automation things for businesses in regards to lead generation, which replaces a lot of the manual work that is being done right now. And these are all being built. I have built a solution for each of these, and I've helped businesses automate this and increase their lead generation, right? And so the way, in general, this is something that you could be earning a lot of money, because keep in mind that while this is the total every month, in a year, how much can we expect to pay here? We can say 6K times 12, so that's already at around 72K, $72,000 in a year, and that's tremendously a lot of money, right? Because now let's compare to AI. The AI just needs 3 to 5 agents. And 3 to 5 agents will definitely cost you around around 2K each. So that's 6K. But the huge but here is that that's usually one time. And then there usually is a small fee for most AI agency owners, a small fee of, let's say 300. Let's just say that it's 300 a month to maintain each of these agents. So what you're ending up with here in a year, let's do the calculation then. First you have 6K, then you have 300 times 3, that's 900. So you have 900 times 12, that's around 9,900 times 12. So that's around 12,000 plus 6, so around 18,000. Not exactly sure the math is 100% correct, but pretty rough. So you can see here that setting up AI agents instead of having a team. And keep in mind that even with all of this, the AI agent will be able to do more than the team. So you're sitting at a, roughly 4 times cheaper cost. 4 times cheaper cost with AI agents. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, guys. I haven't even gone into sort of the capabilities, the different things that can be done, that can be sort of improved with AI, and all the different methods it can be implemented that will actually be better than a human. And this is just 3 examples of all of what sort of is possible to do. So 4 times cheaper AI agent on the lead generation process. Now, what about the lead qualification? Lead qualification is the inherent process here we have discussed, but sometimes we actually do deal with leads that the customers already have. And that's sort of the same process here. Here, what we would say is that instead of these sort of customers being, for example, external, they are already existing, right? And for example, what would happen here in the lead qualification? It's example, let's say you want to upsell customers. So you would really just need one automation to be able to contact your existing customers, filtering the leads, and contacting existing customers. Because one thing that is usually a headache for many businesses regarding lead qualification is that they are sitting at a huge database of their existing customers, and now they are not sure who should we call to upsell them, to sell them more, to earn more money on them. And that requires a lot of knowledge and awareness of who the client is, and having an insight into the data and the behavior of those customers, right? For example, let's say it's a platform. Which user is most active but hasn't paid? Which user is most active but hasn't actually subscribed yet? The most active user will most likely be willing to pay if he maybe gets a pitch or gets to call someone, gets called by someone and gets more information about the product, or even just an offer, right? And so if there is some lead qualification automation that will process this and rank this and filter these existing customers, and then qualify them into higher sort of customers in terms of revenue, you already can, you already can boost your business by, you can say a roughly easy 10 to 20% increase in revenue just by your existing customers with one simple AI automation that does this all in one. And the most important thing to say about this is that, this is one automation, and it is something that can be done for even 10,000 or 100,000 leads. One automation could be handling 100,000. And now let's compare that again, as we did, with a human to be able to reach out and analyze 100,000 customers. That would take you years. It wouldn't even be possible, right? That would take years. And that would cost, even let's say 5 employees to be analyzing and checking and ranking and understanding who's the existing customers, right? And what's their level, and then putting everything in a spreadsheet, ranking them from 1 to 10. And then after doing all the filtering and the processing, understanding who should we reach out to and why. And so, 5 employees, there is no point to go so much into detail. This is a tremendously huge job that would, possibly cost 100K to be done properly. And yes, the revenue potential is crazy, because if you can 10 to 20% increase, or 10 to 20% customers from a higher upsells from the existing customers, that's like tremendously a lot of money, right? Because let's say it's a product that costs $1,000, you already have earned quite a lot, right? And so one AI automation here, it literally costs the same. An AI automation would be around 2K. Maybe more, maybe 5K. Let's say that this one is a bit more expensive, so we would say 5K automation, 5K AI automation, and then there would be like let's say a 2K fee, because this is something that would be continuously processing the leads, right? Because it's not instant. It does take time, but it's much faster, right? So here we're already looking at like a crazy, cheaper way. So there's some examples, right? You have lead generation, lead qualification. All businesses are doing this. All businesses need this. And here's the potential where AI can be plugged into your business. This is something we do at Fraima. Fraima Automations is our AI agency in Dubai, and we focus on lead generation and lead qualification. And so this just puts something in perspective, because here, for example, we have 3 employees and we're talking about 3 agents, and that's something that can be applied to every business. But here it's even more relevant to very high businesses that have 100,000 customers and that have a lot of data, because at the end of the day, this is all data processing. So now you have sort of seen the automations that can be added into qualification, lead generation, and there is much more to be discussed regarding that. Now let's talk about the aspect about decreasing costs, because that's also somewhat outside of the generation qualification. It's more about like replacing time and giving more time at hand, or even replacing employees. So regarding the replacing costs and also AI for business, first we need to understand how a business sort of looks. This is an example of a average classic business with at least 10 employees, which is very normal for any business that is doing some sort of revenue and has things going on. So let's just break down the roles, right? Because it comes down to roles and tasks. You have CEO, usually can't be replaced. This is the guy that owns, this is the guy that runs it, this is the guy that is sort of the main person. Then you have a manager, and a manager is someone who helps the CEO do a lot of the tasks, right? A manager usually handles the communication with the development team and the marketing team, and within each of these teams, this is usually the two biggest sort of separations for any business. You have 3 to 5 roles. For the marketing team, you have sales, you have social media manager, you have writer, and you have ads manager. And the manager also uses an assistant or two. And then you also have, on the development side or the service side, someone who is head of product, a developer or two, and a technology officer. And these roles vary. These roles don't be fixed on the actual naming, but in general, a normal business sits at around 10 employees. So we see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 10 employees, and this is just being able to run basic stuff in 2 big areas, which is development or service, and then marketing, right? This is a classic sort of business, and I know agencies, for example, do look different than this, but this is sort of what we're working with. And so in the age of AI, how will this now be changed, right? What will change in the AI and in the setup, right? So in my opinion, the whole thing will get sort of totally disrupted. Instead of having 10 employees, the same things could be done. The same things could be done with much less resources. So with AI, right? With AI, right? So this with AI, we're going to sort of optimize things here. I would say that the assistant is kept. And then here you would more likely, instead of having 3 roles, we scrap everything here. We scrap this guy, we scrap these arrows, and the main thing you would be able to most likely have here is 1 senior developer. Because in the age of AI, especially for developers, there's so many tools out there, and one guy can really, as long as he has the right understanding and is a full stack developer, he can actually build an entire application and so much more. And you don't need the 3 roles. So you would need 1 dev. You wouldn't even need an assistant, because actually there aren't that many people to be handling right now. You would need only a manager. And in the marketing team, you would need what you would need is not a salesperson, because there will be automations handling that. You would need a social media manager, because a social media is something that consistently should be created naturally and organically. So I would say you would have to keep a social media manager, but this person should be more like a SMM and marketing expert, because he should be able to do much more than just social media, right? Because with AI, he can also save a lot of his time. So he also, the ad manager, this guy, you can save that into this role too. So you have to just find the person that can do and handle the stuff all in one. And the reason this now is possible is because with AI, the person can do so much more, right? He has time to do so much more. Yes, of course, without AI, you can try to find one guy that can write and can do social media management and sales, but that guy will not have time to excel in these fields, because he has to focus. But with AI, he has so much more time in his hand, because things take less time to do. So you can find a person that was able to produce high quality on this, and also writing. You don't really need that, right? So I would say that in a good business, you have someone who is on the front end, they're doing SMS and marketing plus ads, which is front end marketing. Then you have someone who is doing sort of, I would say like back end marketing and managing automations, right? And so this guy, of course, like you would probably be hiring a automation team, but at the end of the day, there will be a lot of stuff that comes through a lot of automation processes, right? And so this is usually what we need with AI. Now, what tools will these people be using, right? That makes these people be able to do so much more, right? So let me give you an example of how this actually looks like in real life, right? So for example, the social media marketing expert, he uses ChatGPT for content creation and production. He uses ChatGPT for content creation and production. He uses image generation models for banners. He uses blog AI blog automations, SEO optimized and high quality. He uses blog or automations. He doesn't need to write. The AI will write. He will use a tool that can be built. So a tool, for example, that we have built for a client, where a user just writes in Telegram what they want the blog to be about, and the AI writes the blog SEO optimized and put it on the website. He manages ads, but AI analyzes everything. So he saves, hundreds of hours in ad analysis and optimization. So he can do all of this with AI too. And then, this is sort of the things that he would be doing, sort of covers a lot of tasks already. Just one person handling 4 roles here. And sort of the back-end marketing guy, he would be doing a bit different roles. He will be handling lead generation. So lead inquiries from generation and meetings, right? He can handle the meetings. He can handle some email communications and check on automations, and he will drive reports and strategy for the manager. Right. So this is the task that can be done all with AI, reports and strategy manager with AI, of course. And then he will handle email communication. This can be done somewhat automated and not. And lead inquiries. This is, keep in mind, all interacting with AI automations that are being put in place that we discussed here, right? AI automations that are being done. So keep in mind, this is not even an employee. This is just agents being put in place. So of course, this guy handles the agents, right? There are the 3 to 5 agents here, and these are also the agents in themselves that that we see here, right? 3 to 5 agents, 4 here, and this is agents that he will be interacting with that are not here, right? So there's a bit different, but anyway, that's sort of how it works. So sort of this team already is 10 people. And so again, this same principle is here for the back end, or sorry, for the developers. What would they do? They will be using Claude Code and Copilot and Cursor to develop and ship code 10x faster. Here he would use Lovable to develop slick front ends. He will use Supabase for the entire database management. And so, there's so many more tasks that he can be using AI for. But the point is that, he can do so much now with the tools available that constantly come. And so that's basically the most important factor that we have here, that you basically need 3 roles that will be able to handle all of the tasks that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people were doing before. And so this already here decreases the costs massively. This decreases massively, right? It's decreasing the cost absolutely massively, and we can already assume around a 50% increase in costs. Decrease in costs with an AI agile company, right? So businesses are not really aware of these opportunities, and employees are not, the managers and the CEOs don't understand the possibilities that are there right now with AI, right? They don't know this, but this is going to become the norm for most companies in the world. And you're going to see teams which are much smaller, which are much easier to handle and maintain, and that use AI to go to absolutely great levels, right? Let me just fix this here. Yeah, so with AI, right? So here we have sort of discussed, sort of just tipped the iceberg in how AI automation and agents are able to ensure that businesses can do so much more. If you are a business owner that is wondering how you can implement AI agents and automations in your business, which areas that we can automate for you, where we can increase your revenue, decrease your cost, you can book a free consultation with us at Fraima. That's the AI agency I am running here. If you are an AI automation builder that is interested in building this and building your own AI agency, you can watch some of my videos and also join our school community to learn more about this. And so this is how AI is transforming the business landscape right now, and it's just tremendous opportunities for the businesses who do this right, because they can be competing in much higher levels. They can out compete their competitors, reach greater results, more tasks, more processing, more management. I mean, like, they can be doing so much more, right? Handle more lead generation, qualification. So I hope this video was interesting to you guys. If you like this type of setup, we'll do more, and leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.